Hi, I'm Bunny Cakes and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing an original book. Well, it's not original to me. It's a Peter Mons from Peter Likes Books original book tag. He called it both the laziest book tag and the world's worst book tag. Sorry, I've been pre-filming a lot, so my voice is going. Um, so he said in his video that you're not supposed to prepare for this or anything, and so I look basically like I always do, which is how I always film my videos anyway. Um, the first question is, what book or series would you force your enemy to read? I'm going to go with 50 Shades of Grey or Twilight, either of those series. I feel like would be fairly decent punishment. Um, Number two, what have you tried to read several times but have been unable to finish? For me, it's The Grapes of Wrath. I have tried to read that book 2 or 3 times and something always happens. I lose the book or I just can't get into it. It's a good story, what I've read of it, but I can't with that book for some reason. Um, what is a, what book has a close friend recommended that you ended up loving? The Harry Potter series. It was actually my brother, but I'm using it as close friend. He came over, we didn't live together when I was in high school, and he came over for spring break one time, and he was reading the book for school, and the first book of the series, and I read it, and I fell in love, and I immediately went out and got every book in the series that was out up to that point. It was in like 2001, 2002, and I read every last one of them on my spring break, and then had to wait for the next one to come out. What book in the last year took you the longest to read because you're lazy? It feels like I have been reading The Hate U Give forever. And it's not that it's not a good story; it's an amazing story, but I am preparing to have gastric sleeve surgery, and you'll see me talk about that in a few videos on this channel as I'm pre-filming, because my surgery is on September 18th. Um, and so it either will be happening or will have happened depending on when this video gets posted. So I've just not been in a mindset where I can sit down and read as much. So I've gone from reading like 6 to 9 books a month to it is, as I'm recording this, September 17th, and I'm like almost 3/4 the way through The Hate U Give. But I do love the story. I don't have time right now or the mental capacity to read it quickly. Number 5 is, what is the fastest book you've read in the last 5 years because it was so damn good? Let's see. I read The Pecan Man by Cassie Dandridge Selleck in just a couple of hours. It was a short book, but it was so good. I read A Court of Wings and Ruin in like between a day and 2 days because it was really good, and I just every second of my day that I wasn't doing something else was spent reading that book. And The Mist, I read that book really, really quick. And that book was really good. The movie that came out several years ago didn't do it justice, and from what I hear, the TV show hasn't done it justice either. Clear your mind. What are the first 3 books that immediately come to your mind? The Final Girls, The Exorcist, and Skitter. Those are all 3 books on my current TBR. Let's see. Number 7 is, the last book you will admit to skimming. Cheater. I don't typically skim books or skip bits in books that I'm reading because I want to read them. So I'd say it was probably a textbook. I just got my degree in February, and so yeah, it was probably a textbook. Number 8, what author if they secretly dropped a brand new book tomorrow, would you immediately have to buy and begin to read ASAP? Um, Anything from Stephen King, anything from Dean Koontz. If Angie Thomas drops a book, I'm going to get it. Sarah J. Maas, if she puts out another book in the Court of Thorns and Roses series, if she were to secretly eliminate a book, I would be all over it. Um, yeah, that's what I'm going to go with. Favorite book type, a book or type of book to read by the pool. Um, Whatever I'm currently reading. um, Number 10 is, what book would you give your best friend and force them to read because it's so good? Um, The Gunslinger, the first book of the Dark Tower series, is amazing, and then of course they would have to read the rest of the series. The Hate You Give would definitely be up there, even though I've not finished it. I know it's going to be amazing. And The Pecan Man by Cassie Dandridge Selleck would be another one that I would force somebody to read. So that was the last question. The only thing that's left is to tag somebody. And because she is also an author, I am going to tag Megan Tennant, because sometimes she reaches over to BookTube instead of staying exclusively on AuthorTube, and her and Peter have that in common. So that's why I'm tagging Megan Tennant. I will link her down below. Thank you for watching, and keep reading.